Hello, welcome to my channel. I haven't been feeling well, and I paused because I haven't been feeling well, and I've been watching the trial. I've never watched the trial from the where Alex Murdaugh is on trial for being accused of killing his wife Maggie and his son Paul, and just watching this, looking at the timeline, you can see the timeline on the internet. You can find various recordings, but you can find the full trial on the internet. And so I've been watching it. It'll probably take me a lot of hours to watch it. But, and I don't know. I don't know whether he did it or not. But there's so many people that are testifying, and I haven't listened to all of them yet. And they talk about what they say. So you can see this is a good timeline right here. It's so sad. And yeah, Alex, that they refer to as Alex or Alec, I think his first name is something different, but I think they go by his middle name. And you know, he lied about where he was. It sounds like at the time that it happened. And right here it talks about Paul sends a Snapchat video and he laughs as Alex is seen standing by a tree at Moselle as it flops over. And it shows where their phones record steps and everything. And you can read this, and plus you can see it online. You can go through the details of everything and the trial. It's pretty horrific having all these details. Okay. And at 8:44:55, Paul records a video, and you can hear that Alex is there with them, even though he had lied and said he wasn't there with them. And this is probably 5 or 6 minutes before they are killed. And let's see. So somewhere in this area, it seems like between 8:48:29, so it'd be 8:49. It seems like somewhere between 8:48:29. Did he read that message? So 8:48, even 8:48:05. And 8:48, I would say 8:48:05 if I'm speculating, to 8:49:31 is when they were killed. You know, there's a brief time. His phone becomes locked 8:49:01. How long does it take for your phone to become locked after it's not working? So I would say 8:48:05 to 8:49:01, 8:49:31. I would think right around in that area is when they were murdered. So they spend all this time trying to prove that Alec was there with them at this time. And they talk about how long it takes for him to ride from the dog kennel to the house, which makes it seem like he could have been there. He could have easily been there. And that he could have taken their phones. But I don't know. I don't know. So Alec is there at 8:44, which is pretty much 8:45. He's there at 8:45. And I don't know how long it takes even for my phone if I set it down to lock up. So 8:45, and then 3 minutes later, I think mine locks like right away. So 8:45. So 3 or 4 minutes later, they're shot and they're killed after he's with them. And it makes it sound like he did it. And there's 2 guns to make them think right away that it was 2 different people that did it, but we don't know. I don't know. And then suddenly his phone comes to life. Alec's phone comes to life. 8:49, 8:50, 10, 12, 13 minutes later it comes to life and he's running around everywhere. And at this point I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think. I don't know if he did it or not. I heard his brother John testifying, saying that he was lied to by SLED, I think that's what they're called, who said that they knew his brother Alec was the one because his shirt was covered in blood and that he had been there. Well, how will he trust them again or believe anything they say because he knows they lied to him? And my question is, if his brother leaned over the bodies, tried to turn them over, tried to check their pulse, why wouldn't he be covered in blood? If he found them like that and tried to check both of them, wouldn't he be covered in blood from all over his shirt? So that bothered me because I saw his shirt and it looked so white and so clean, and I didn't see blood over it on his shirt. So, and then Alec was allegedly coming down off drugs the day before they were killed. But then he stated that he had pills that day. But did he? Did he have pills that day? Or was he still going through withdrawals? Or would having pills or going through withdrawals affect someone in a way to make them commit murder? Because I don't know. And he got caught from stealing the day of the murder. So it sounds to me like everything's crashing down around him. He gets caught for stealing. He's trying to get clean and sober off of those pills. His family is. He didn't feel good. Was he upset from that and his dad and withdrawals enough to do such a thing? And it may have only taken a minute or 2 or just seconds for the person to have murdered them. Is it possible that someone else came onto the property, or they were hidden onto the property and they did it while he was briefly in the house? And why didn't he just drive to tell them, to say he was leaving to go to his mom's house, his mom and dad's house, and he would be right back? That seemed a bit suspicious because I don't understand, he can't get a hold of him on the phone. Wouldn't he just drive there to tell them? And there are people who panic and run from the scene of an accident or a hit and run as they freak out, and they're panicking. They don't know what to do, even when they're sober. So would he have panicked if he went to the house to use the bathroom or anything like that, flush the toilet, heard the gunshots, and went back to find them dead, and then ran and left and tried to create some kind of an alibi and came back and then lied about it? Would he have done that if he had? Is it possible? What would you have done? You don't know until you're in that moment. There are people who are in a fire and they'll have a fire escape. Instead of trying to go down the fire escape, they try to run through the smoke to leave the fire. People panic in situations. Would he have even changed clothes or showered in between if he found them that way and picked them up and got blood all over them, and then hidden the bloody clothes if he had found them that way, thinking that he would be the one getting locked up because he'd seen innocent people go to jail so many times? Could someone who was angry with him for stealing that day have killed his wife and son? Maybe meant to kill him, but at that brief moment he wasn't there. Is there anyone else that may have been stealing also, or taken part in him stealing, that may have decided to kill his wife and son for some reason, or to kill him, and it just ended that way? Could someone upset about the boating accident have hidden and killed his family? Is it possible that he was on pills and felt like his wife and son did not love him because he was paranoid or care for him from being paranoid on the pills, and like everything was crashing down around him? And could he have done it? Maybe he could no longer borrow money from his father, and his mother had Alzheimer's and he didn't know what to do. Would there have been any life insurance coming to him if they were murdered to help solve the debts from the thefts, or would just the boating money have gone away? And it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder if he had enough incentive. Could he have found them dead? Could he have been with them, left, came back, found them dead, and ran, trying to set up alibis, even if he had not been the one who killed them, just from panicking? If he was capable of hiring someone to kill him, to keep from going to prison, or to ensure that his son maybe got insurance money, or for whatever reason that he did that, could he have done that to his wife and son for financial gain as well? Do you have a parent or family member who would be capable of killing family members for money if they thought they could get away with it, who people feel are loving and kind people? Do you know people like this that would do something like that? You may hear that his son who died was murdered. His son who was murdered. You may hear that his son who murdered, if you watch different videos, you may hear, and even this testimony here, that he was a hard worker, he was kind, he was such a good person. And then you may hear that the son was a complete jerk when he drank. And other, like with the boating incident and things, like he had a Jekyll and Hyde personality. And have you ever met anyone who was kind and a good person and a hard worker when they were sober, who became totally obnoxious after drinking? And listening to Alec testify, he speaks of how, he would justify things to himself when he did things that were bad. And he seems like a genuine and honest person. And he'll come right out and say that he stole the money from people that he loved. And he will say that he did steal and that he did lie about things and that he did have an addiction to pills. So that you give pause and think, if he is so honest about those things, would he also be honest if he had committed the murder? He even said he was selfish and he stole money and that it was so selfish of him to do so. And he'll admit that. And then that he lied to people while he was stealing, and that he has no problem saying that he did those things and how selfish it was of him, which makes you respect him for his honesty. But he's been caught. He's been caught. So is he going to be honest about those things because he's been caught? And then there's that woman who was crying when she testified. And I don't know if I believe all of her testimony during the time that she is crying, because I've heard people, good Christian people, who when they start to tell lies like that, they'll start crying because of the fact that they're lying. And it's hard for them to deal with the fact that they're lying. So I've heard them telling lies while they were crying, and people believe them because they're crying while they're telling the lies. But the fact of the matter is, I know that people will cry sometimes when they're lying. And so if she was on the stand and lying, would she be crying? So I don't know if I believe her. I don't know if she's telling the truth or not. I have questions about if she's telling the truth or not. And she might be telling the truth. She might just genuinely be very upset. But because I have heard people cry while they were lying, I don't know if I believe her or not. I have trouble believing her. And who is this Danny person? I want to know more about that. I want to listen to more of these videos and find out who this Danny person is. Because his name makes me feel like I need to learn more about him. And honestly, my lights were flickering. The Danny person came on and was on the TV, and the lights were flickering. So now I want to know why. So, is it just a coincidence, right, that the lights started flickering at that time? And then I also question if he lied about the pill usage, Alec, until being caught about stealing, until getting caught. Does that mean he will now be honest as he has been caught, but still lie about the murders until getting caught? I honestly don't know if he did it or not. There are times that I think he must have done it, and there are times when I feel like during a brief minute or two it happened, and that there's a possibility that maybe he didn't do it. Maybe they really thought that he was the one who had done it. So they spent all these efforts on trying to convict him. I don't know where the blue rain jacket came from. I question if the blue rain jacket was him. I question if he took that blue rain jacket that looked like a tarp into that house ever. I question that evidence. That piece of evidence, I just don't know. And even if it was there, I'd also question if it was something that somebody else took. You know, I question that evidence. I question that evidence so much. And I don't understand why he didn't have blood on him. Her testimony, she cried. She cried while she was testifying. She froze up and couldn't speak for a time. And I don't know if I believe all of her testimony or not. I don't. She looks like she's a good person, like a really good person. But the crying and the freezing up while testifying makes me feel like it's possible that she could have been coerced into telling lies. But I don't know for certain. I don't know. And I shouldn't probably judge her in such a way. But because it reminds me of people that I've heard lie. I've heard people lie in court. I've heard people lie and cry. More than one person. I've seen and heard them lying while they were crying, and heard about other people believing them because they were crying while they were telling lies. So I don't know if I believe her testimony or not. I don't. So I don't know if he did it or not. I don't know if he did it, and I don't know if all the evidence is even real or not. I question everything. Because I know that, you know, people do things that are wrong. But there's a timeline. And it says his vehicle reached 74 miles an hour as he returns. As he returns, he's driving really fast. And then it says it reached 80 miles an hour. Is it possible? Did he kill them or did he not kill them? I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you think he did it? Do you think it's possible that somebody else could have killed his wife and son? Do you think it's possible that he killed his own wife and son? Do you think it's possible that somebody else did it? Like I said, I don't know. Right here, you can see his white shirt and his shorts, and they're not covered in blood. He doesn't have blood on his arms. He doesn't have blood on his legs. That bothers me. I feel like he would have ran to them. He would have picked them up. I don't know for sure, but I feel like he would have had blood on him. So while I hear people testifying that they thought he did it because he had blood on him, I don't see the blood. I feel like he would have had blood all over him, just finding them there. And that makes me feel like, did he do it? But there are times I think, I realize that he's got caught for stealing that day, and there's a lot of people that are going to be really angry with him for stealing. And is it possible that one of those people that were so angry with him for stealing could have killed his wife and son because they were so angry? I don't know. And I think that Danny guy's in the back of the car. And I really want to know who he is. And I really want to watch. I've got so many more videos, hours of footage to watch, even though I have watched some of it. At this point, I don't know how I feel. I feel sad. I feel sad, even if he had done this to his wife and his son and been capable of it while he was on pills, going through withdrawals, getting caught for stealing. I would still feel terrible when he came to the realization of what he'd done. But I don't know if he did it. I don't know if he did it. I feel like he has nightmares about it, whether he did it or if he didn't do it, that he has nightmares. And it just seems horrific. Because do you think he would be capable of killing both of his wife and his son? You think his wife was, I don't know. It makes you wonder if he thought she was going to leave him, if that would have saved him money, or if... I don't see what his reasons were. Other than, there's the money. There's the boat money. If they were going to lose all that money that they didn't have to pay for the boating accident, if they were being sued. I just don't even know how I feel about it. How do you feel? What do you think? If you're watching this, let me know what you think. And just feel free to leave comments, because here I am watching this. I'm telling you, it's just heartbreaking. It's completely heartbreaking. Anyway, don't forget to pray for all of these people involved and their families and their loved ones, because there are so many people involved that were like family, that weren't, maybe they weren't blood related, but they loved them like family. And there were other people. They had a housekeeper that died. There was a young man that died that's mentioned on the internet, that was found in the middle of the road. There was the boating accident. So it's just horrific, all of the things surrounding this and everything that these people have been through. And so please don't forget to pray for them and their families and their loved ones. And feel free to leave comments, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.